Magazine Monday, Magazine Monday, trains are running around. It's Magazine Monday. There we go. Got a little bit of the 4x7. You got your orchards over there, train station. Looking pretty cool. This is a neat little old John Deere set. I was hanging at my homeboy Manolo's place for a while. And then when we tore his train set out of his old spot, that kind of came back over to my neck of the woods. I love this scene. The little trailer right next to the train tracks. Got this cool SD40-2. Actually, Bob Kierner donated that to me. And I got to give that to Mr. Nick Martinez, his kid. I promised I'd give that to him. So we got to get that in his hands ASAP, but taking it out for a little run to stretch its legs and make sure that it works all good. Let's get over to our magazines. What do we got on Magazine Monday table? We got a Trains magazine, and we got a something else. Let's get to it. We got Trains from 2020, so really getting on into it, getting a little bit more modern. We got some Alcos up here. Dressed as something else. New York and Atlantic's night train. Arizona Apache finds a way back. I've actually been to that railroad, or I've been to the junction for that railroad. And then we have a nice little, this looks like 1993. Look at that, of Railroad Model Craftsman. Special fold out of Jeep 60, GP60M, GP60B, and the GP59. Pfft, nobody cares. And yet we have a Dash 8 on the front. It's number 814. Look at that. It's probably a Rail Power Product shell. Very highly detailed for its time. Look at that. You got your cut levers going right behind the ditch lights. Probably non-operable. Those are probably jewels in the ditch light casings, but still looks really cool. That is something else. Brass handrails. Bro, push them forward, man. Push them forward, stand them straight up. Flush mounted. Windshields. All this glazing. I actually had that kit. That laser cut lens kit. That was actually really cool. Look at Athearn winning. You got that GP38. Look at that. I actually have that one over there. So I think that's what's over there. I can't even see. Is that 2267? I don't know. Could be. Blue box surprise. A nice little Conrail SD40-2. Gotta love the horn hook couplers on that. I do miss the metal couplers from Athearn. Or not couplers, handrails. They were just so much more rigid and sturdy. That GP35. Not until they actually went to the old Rail Power Product shell did they actually become prototypical. The shell was always just a little bit fatter to house the quote-unquote old-school engine. I always loved the SW7s, though. Noisy. All right, let's keep going. Whoop. Get out here. Buy our stuff. Buy our stuff. Safety valve. Safety valve. The Crescent Limited. The Crescent Limited was introduced in 1925 with the bold claim, "There's no finer train than the Crescent Limited." I bet. Look at this. More stuff. Buy it. America's Hobby Center. Buy, buy, buy. More stuff. Come on. I want to see the stuff. Ooh, Fairbanks and Morris, FM. You're tuned in to Fairbanks and Morris Radio on FM KKRQ. Sound of the Valley's rock station. Unless you're west of the Mississippi. When it's WMVX. The Sound of the Valley, America's rock station. Look at that, coming soon, the EMD, E8 and E9. I don't see him, mate. I just see a bunch of baggage cars. Come on, Kato, get it together. What are we doing? What are we doing? Love this model. Detail Associates. You too can detail an SW1500 just like we did. Which is actually really cool because this is just a regular Athearn blue box and you can see just all the detail parts added. Nice little horn right there. Very nice. Blow that horn, mate. Probably a Bell from Detail Associates. can see the MU cables and air hoses. Got your little lots and stuff like that. Windshield wipers. I love it. Great model. Good job. Good job, Detail Associates. Let's keep going. More stuff. More stuff. Buy more stuff. More products. This is how we advertise. Steepled cab. Keep going. Keep going. Buy more stuff. More stuff to buy. Hello. Split image. Oh, that's a nice little article. Got to read that. Anything from 93. That's when the authors were authors. They weren't using AI to generate their articles. AI, generate, ChatGPT, generate me an article about SD9s and make it sound like a human wrote it. Look at that. Gotta love the bees. The Busy Bee. This is cool. The Gateway Model Railroad Club's Jersey Coastlines. My ladies from Jersey. Gotta love Jersey, mate. Look at that. That's a nice little spaghetti-o. Little tangle here, a tangle there. I just like that, the bee lines. I love that paint scheme. Looks somewhat N scale. Look at those squared off. Is this N scale? Let's take a look. Is it N scale? 21 by 42 feet. You know what? Don't know, don't care. All I know, I've got to read that article. It looks cool. Modeling Southern Pacific's 40-foot AAR boxcars. Not really hard when Athearn did a bang-up job on their blue box kit. Just a little bit of extra something, something. But this is what we were all waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that GP60. Had that big dynamic brake. It was that very squared-off dynamic brake housing. The heat dissipation block, as you would call it. With that square vent. Really cool. Looks just so cool. Look at that. Southern Pacific had a really cool looking unit. Santa Fe, of course, was in there. Look at that. That's one of the later models. That big dynamic brake block was one of the later models. GP59 Southern had those. Ooh, look at this. GP60M. Love it. Look at that. Wide cab. Those things just look so burly. Hello, mate. God, just really cool looking units. There was actually a great article in building one of those in N scale where you use a GP38-2 or a GP38 in Atlas and you add fans, or I think it was actually a GP50. And you kind of like, kit bash the damn thing and it just looks so cool. Let's see where else we're going. I love these blueprints. It says it's a fold out. Oh, look at this. We get the full-on fold-out. That's what you're doing, mate. Look at that. This says it's actually, this is the actual size in HO scale. Look at that, mate. Let's see what the backside is. Oh, okay, this is, and the backside is, I don't know. Looks like a GP60B. Yeah, because there's no cab. And then a 59. That's really cool. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Norfolk Southern had a cool looking unit too. Of course, they didn't have an air conditioner. I love this, the original demonstrator unit that had the rounded off cab. We're going to be so fashion forward, mate. We're going to round off the cab and make it look all bougie. Really cool. Really cool. Love it. Love it all. Let's see, any more? Look at that. Let's design ourselves a Jeep 60B. This has got to be, it looks like they're taking it off of just the base of, if I'm venturing to guess, yeah, look at that, just a basic Athearn GP50. This guy looks like he shaved down the sides. To be honest, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just gotten the GP50 without the dynamic brakes. Put that in there on the end cap. Pulled out the turbo. And then slapped on the front. Cut it away. Would have had to go through two models, but that's the whole purpose of kit bashing. Look at that. Well done. Well done indeed, my friend. Santa Fe Superfleet. I love this picture. FP45, GP60B, and GP60M with the B behind it. That looks like a B40-8W. That's the 4-axle version. And here's your 6-axle version. You can tell because of the numbers. Yeah, see, 500. That was the 500 series. 800 series. You can tell those differences. Look at that. Boopity beepity. 500 series. 4-axle. Really cool looking units. GP60. M. Number 162. And then obviously your FP45s. Such great looking units. They renumbered those to the 90 series once the GPs came out, because they were the 100 series, so they had to renumber these into the 90s. There was only a few of them. Really cool looking paint scheme. I love how they did the big red Santa Fe letters instead of the tiny little black pincy letters from the old times. And that's about it. I mean, look at that Pike stuff. Still cooking back then. Get yourself a whole meal deal. That's a McDonald's meal deal waiting to happen. Obviously, aging cars with rust. That's how it should look. And then we've got this nice wheel here to drive the car down the street. Main Street. We're going to go down Main Street. Kidding, that's a brake wheel. All right, I think we're done there. Hope you enjoyed that one. There's my legs. Terrible, I'm wearing shorts today. But that's because it's 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Lily Allen? No? Nobody? All right, we're going to run through this really quick because this is 2020. I love this. New England Central. That is the article we open. Look at this house. That's like a Bates Motel house. That's like something out of... This is not modeling. This is the prototype right here. That's in New England. That's like something out of an old Alfred Hitchcock movie. The Birds. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Bum, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Or Addams Family. Days of the week. Bump, bump. Days of the week. Look at that. It's really cool. Talks about where the line is. Where are we? Well, there's the Atlantic Ocean down here in the tip of Long Island. So if you go directly north, we're somewhere at the edge of Connecticut and Rhode Island right there. Whoop. Really cool area of the United States. Beautiful countryside. Especially during the spring and the fall. Don't want to be there during the summer, mate. It gets a little muggy. Of course, I think everywhere does. It's super muggy in the garage right now. And we're still cooking. Look at that. That's a winning picture right there. A little snowfall. Love this old Canadian cab right here. That is really cool. Look at that. Former Canadian National GP40L-2. That's cool. I think we used to have one of those down in San Diego. On the San Diego Imperial Valley Railroad. And then preserving a lifeline. This is an article I want to get to. I'm going to read this later. But I just love these Alcos. So cool. Green and white. Very cool paint scheme. Nice little servicing facility for repairing any cars. Looks like we got it going on. Beautiful picture. If you want to see the quintessential Arizona, New Mexico Southwest, there it is. Lowland shrubbery. And God, that paint scheme is just so cool looking. Really cool. Love it. That's neat. Look at that. Nice little SW1500. Looks like it's XSP because the light's off to the side, side mounted. Otherwise, it'd have the gyro light, that light, and the red light in the middle. The red rotator, not rotator, what is it called? Mars light? Something like that? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. Tourist versus coronavirus. Oh, it was that time of life, eh? That's right. We all remember it. Never forget. And then you got a nice little SD40-2 combo set up. I love this. We're going to end like that. I love it. Short lines and regional gallery. Gotta love these pictures. Doing some short line switching. Northwestern Pacific. They just moved a bunch of Caltrans cars. You could look it up on the old UP or YouTube. This is an ex-Southern Pacific. That's an MP15 DC, I think. Yeah, it's the DC. It's got the power box right there. A little bit bigger. A little bit burlier than an SW1500. Gotta love those MP15s. And then that's a neat-looking paint scheme. Let's ride. And that'll be it. That will be it. Look at this. And that's all episode, ladies and gentlemen. Powered by partnership. Hope you had a great time on this here Magazine Monday. Remember, Trains 2020 of something issue June 2020, yay. And Railroad Model Craftsman from March of 1993. I'll leave you with a little look one more time. Look at the kid's Power Wheel up there charging. Still cluttered, but we will declutter. There's the Orchard, and there's some SD40-2s. That one's dirty. I got to replace the... oh, look at that. A little bit of pumpkins. A bunch of stuff on this. Huh. Must have been organizing stuff yesterday. Well, I wish you all a happy Monday. And a little motivation for you is every project has its steps. But each step is as important as the next. Sure up your footing and keep moving forward. And until the next time, just remember, your most important signal is going to be your next one.